Namaste. Welcome to Turiya Talks. Today we have a very respected personality with us, Mr. Tarun Goswami. We all know Sir is a journalist by profession from last few decades, and currently he is the resident editor of Millennium Post. But today it's a very interesting occasion. Sir will speak about Swamiji, the youth icon. Sir, welcome to Turiya Talks, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, what motivates you to study and follow Swami Vivekananda? We all would like to know on his on the occasion of his birthday, sir.
When I was in school, I studied in St. Lawrence High School. It is being run by the Jesuit missionaries. In our time, most of the fathers were from Belgium. The Belgian fathers, when I was in class 8, they told me that unless you study Vivekananda, your life will be incomplete. So they all knew Bengali very well. They gave 4 books written by Swami Vivekananda. প্রাচ্য পাশ্চাত্য বর্তমান ভারত ভাববার কথা পরিব্রাজ. So I started reading those books when I was in class 8, and I study Vivekananda every day. I have a library at my home where there are around 1500 books on Vivekananda. A very rich library. So I study Vivekananda very seriously because I personally believe that unless you follow Vivekananda, it's impossible for you to contribute any positive thing to society. You see, when we live in society, most of the people are selfish. They can't see beyond their own skin. And whatever little social service we do, it is lip worship. We are not serious about it. Vivekananda said, I am the servant of that God whom the ignorant by mistake calls man. Now this is very important. Serving human beings and showing proper respect to them is not an easy thing to do. So we seldom do it. As a result of which, after 75 years of independence, India has everything. India has talent, India has natural resources, India has tremendous workforce, but we have failed to compete with the Western world just because we lack that sincerity which is required. Our love for this country is not very strong. Swamiji had said in a speech on 14th of January 1897 when he came to India from the West. He delivered a lecture in Madras where he said that let your motherland be the only God for the next 50 years. And it was 1897. In 1947, just after 50 years, we got independence. But everywhere, it's very tragic that we don't get sincere people. So unless we are sincere, and also Swamiji believed that the downtrodden should be elevated. Educate them first. He said New India will come from the hearts of the farmers, from the shops of the common people. He saw India, he was the first Indian who traveled extensively in the country. He traveled extensively in South India, in North India, in Rajasthan, and he saw the hapless condition of the common people. At the same time, he saw their tremendous potential. So he came to realize that unless this class is developed in India, there is no survival of the country.
Absolutely right. So, sir, I understand your perspective, but my only question is, what is the relevance of studying Swami Vivekananda in the current times, or in the, I will say, current era, basically?
If we talk about this pandemic, in pandemic we have learned one English expression which I personally believe is wrong. There cannot be any social distancing. Distancing is physical. In any pandemic, we should be socially close and physically distant because we have to stop spread of the disease. So, unfortunately, we have become socially distant. The person who is affected with the disease, even the educated people are shunning them. Throughout the globe, When a COVID patient died, the educated people didn't go near the dead body. They failed to understand that no bacteria, no virus can be transmitted from a dead body. But they refused. In Calcutta, there were demonstrations. People said that we are not going to allow these bodies to be burnt here. The crematoriums, they had to be shut. So this is all because we are becoming slowly and we are slowly and slowly going. We are becoming so selfish that the problems of others fail to have an impact on our mind. This is very tragic, very tragic. And if you read Vivekananda, number one, you develop a sense of confidence. Number two, you develop respect for your motherland because when he was studying in the West in between 1893 and 1895, 96. He said that you should be proud that you are born in India instead of having your shame. We get enormous pleasure in going abroad. We go abroad. When you talk to people, they talk about the scenic beauties in different European countries. There, in India, if you see India properly, the natural beauty is such that you don't have to go to any country to see an Indian natural. Yes, yes. One has to have eyes and one has to have respect for the country. We talk about environmental pollution, completely forgetting that waste is more polluted environmentally. That's why they shout a lot. Not they never want to save our country, but they shout a lot because their own country is at stake. So if you read Vivekananda, your perspective changes. Your responsibility towards the people, it increases. Vivekananda said, I am the servant of that God whom the ignorant by mistake calls man. And also one understands what is real religion. You see, unfortunately, Hinduism is no religion. This is Sanatan Dharma. And there is a difference between religion and Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is a way of life. Your life should be ethical. Your life should be rational. Your life should be pure. And your life should be, you must have compassion and empathy for others. This is the crux of Sanatan Dharma. This is the crux of Vedanta, which Swamiji had spoken about. He believed that through Vedanta, the world can be saved. Vivekananda talked about universal religion at Chicago Conference in 1893. On September 19, he delivered a lecture called The Paper on Hinduism. It was his first written paper in the West, where he talked about universal religion. It will be such a religion where there will be no persecution. It will be such a religion where men and women will be given the same respect. Even after 75 years of independence, if you go to South India, there is a temple where women are not allowed. Why? Because we don't respect women. And in Indian society, Swamiji believed that unless you respect women, this society cannot be elevated. This society has no use unless the women are educated, unless the women are given freedom, unless the women are respected. After 75 years of independence, we find that women are doing job, but in any place where they are working, many of their male colleagues look them, they do not respect them, and there is always a feeling that when a girl is doing well, there's always a feeling that she is doing this because of certain extra benefits, which is very unfortunate, very unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Sir, since you have talked about pandemic, we can see that most of the people have suffered. It can be any kind of loss. It can be job. It can be someone very close or somebody is not well, emotional loss. So our minds are restless. So by reading Swami Vivekananda, will it help people to find peace within themselves?
Sure. You see, why we are so restless, whether we accept this or not, genuine love or unselfish love has gone from our mind. If you read Swamiji, when you develop self-confidence, there are two kinds of fears. One is fear of defeat and the fear of death. So these two fears will go if you read Swamiji seriously. And the moment you are in a position to control fear of death or win fear of death, you are a new individual. If you read the Upanishads, Nuchiketa had questioned Lord Yama that tell me something by which I can overcome death. So Indian philosophy is the only philosophy in the world which teaches us how to overcome death, how to overcome this fear. You see, Corona, we are more afraid of the disease than the disease. We are more afraid. We always think that I'll be inflicted, I'll be affected. This fear is slowly and slowly killing our mind.
Right, absolutely right. Sir, would you, in fact, you will, when you talk about Swami Vivekananda and you have been practicing it in your daily life, if you can just speak about it, what people should do if they have not started reading, what they should do, some quick tips, how can they follow Swamiji in their daily lives, or how can they start reading, because there is always a beginning, what we call it.
Always, always. You see, there are plenty of books, very small books on Swamiji, carrying excerpts of his speeches, write-ups. People should start reading that. Instead of reading fat books, they should start reading small pamphlets. That will help them enormously. When you read that your soul's absolute, spirit's free, blessed and eternal, immediately you gather some kind of energy from it. Roma Rolla wrote a book on Vivekananda in 1930, 26 years after Vivekananda's death. And Romarola got the Nobel Prize in 1915. So Romarola said Vivekananda's words are great music. If you read Vivekananda seriously, you will feel that as if he's standing beside you and talking to you. Instead of humiliating you, instead of cautioning you, instead of rebuffing you, he is helping you to move forward. He said, no point looking behind, forward, forward. Your life should start from today. What you had done yesterday is not important. What you are doing today and what you will be doing tomorrow, these things are important. So this gives you a sort of self-confidence now. It helps you. Because always when we talk about the past and we talk about the future. We never talk about the present. Vivekananda talks about the present. Yes. The past is past and the future is unknown to us.
Right. Sir, since you have talked about music, I think I also wanted to know your perspective about Swami Vivekananda ji being an exponent of Indian music and a traveler writer. So, would like to know your views on the same.
When he was going to the West for the second time in 1899, he had two fellow persons. One was Sister Nivedita, the other was his brother monk, Swami Turiyanandaji. They were going to England and then from there to United States. So during this journey from Calcutta to England, he wrote his daily experiences, and there he gave description of the sheep. There he gave when the sheep came across storms. Then he wrote about how they were catching fishes, how they were catching sharks. So this is a brilliant travelogue written by Swami Vivekananda in Bengali, but it's again very unfortunate that few people read it. It's really of tremendous value, tremendous value. It's called Poribrajak. Poribrajak means wanderer. Earlier it was called Bilet Jatri Diary, a diary of a person who is going to the West. In Bengali in those days, Western world was called Bilet. Whether it was European country or America, they were called Bilet. So Bilet Jatri Diary. It's a brilliant travelogue. And about music, yes, of course. Vivekananda was a trained classical singer. Vivekananda received his training from Benimadhav Sarvadikari, who was a trained singer, and Benimadhav was the music director of the famous drama Chaitanya Lila, directed by Girish Chandra Ghosh. Sri Ramakrishna went to this drama and he went into trance. So Benimadhav Sarvadikari was his teacher. Again, he learned pakwas from another person. So Vivekananda was a pakwas player, was a trained singer because the family where he was born, his father was a great pakwas player. His cousin was the famous clarinet player of those days, Amritulal Datta. And Vivekananda, many of us do not know that Vivekananda could speak French like his mother tongue. Vivekananda's very close friend was Madame Emma Calvé. In those days, Calvé was the most prominent opera singer in Europe. She was a close friend of Queen Victoria. And Calvé came to Calcutta in 1906, 4 years after Swamiji's death. And from our accounts, we know that Swamiji could sing some French songs. Swamiji had composed the prayer of Belur Math. If you hear the prayer from a distance, you will find that it is a church song. If you go close, you will find it's nothing but Hindustani classical music. He also he wrote a song in Bengali, Nahi Surjo Nahi Jyoti, and his student Pulin Bihari Mitter in 1914 he cut a record on this song, and it was a classical based song, very difficult to sing unless you have training. So Vivekananda had the training, and when he used to sing, he always had the accompaniment. Without accompaniment, he never sang. You know, if you ask a classical singer to sing, he will never sing unless Pakwaj is there, unless Tanpura is there. Even today, unless Tabla is there and Tanpura is there, no classical singer will sing. So Vivekananda was very serious about his song. And yes, of course, he was a great singer.
Right. And sir, you
And
said it
when
very
you
right. If we read more of Swami Vivekananda, we'll be more confident because he himself said that he is very proud to belong to a nation which has sheltered the persecuted and refugees of all religions and all nations of the world. So if
yes,
Swamiji could say it, then I believe that the current generation they would be inspired more and more if they read Swami Vivekananda.
of
And
course.
sir, another thing I wanted to know because he says that you have to grow from the inside out. No one can teach you. None can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul. So, what people should do to train themselves?
First of all, we must have self-respect. We always compare ourselves with others, our negatives with the positives of others. Suppose you are good in literature, you are good in history, you are good in geography, and the person staying next to your house is good in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. You'll always compare your negatives with the positives of that individual. This is wrong. You should have love and respect for yourself. You should tell yourself that I can do it. I can do it. If you tell this to yourself, then within a short span of time, you'll be really able to do that.
Absolutely. Sir, what are your final takes on Swamiji as a youth icon? Will continue
Swami,
to inspire people in the generations to come. So, some quick.
about his own writers, he said, "Arise, awake, onward. I will tell you this: that whoever reads these letters will imbibe my spirit. Have faith onward." So I request the young people to read Vivekananda at least 10 minutes a day to wash the dirt of mind, to clear the mind, see themselves clearly, and then work for others. Of course, they should be engaged in their professional activities, but a certain portion of their mind should keep them that mind for others. Unless you work for others, your life will be incomplete. And if your life is incomplete, fear will chase you always. Uncertainty will chase you always. And ultimately, you will become an assembly of no's. Nietzsche, the famous German philosopher, had said that after you have shed all your burdens, you become a burden to yourself. Now, if you become a burden to yourself, then none can help you to remove the burden.
Absolutely right. Sir, what are your final takes on Turiya Talks and the shows we host?
Now, I personally believe that your effort is exceptionally good. Through Studio Talks, you should try to inspire people as far as possible. The young generation, they have everything. They have intelligence. They have they have sincerity. Only thing is, little bit of tuning is required. Now, through your talks, you should tune themselves properly, so that they become effective human beings and effective Indians.
Fine. Thank you. We are trying our best. We are running this show from last 1.5 years, and we'll continue to get experts like you who will continue to motivate us and people around the globe. That is more important.
Thank you.
I think at the end, I can only say that, like Swamiji said, that we have to have faith in ourselves, and the greatest religion is to be true to your own nature. That is very important. Watch this inspiring Turiya talks and try to understand and try to read the message between the lines. Because Mr. Arun Goswami, what we call him Tarunda, it has been very, very informative and eye-opening. In his busy schedule, he practices it. Trust me, people will find it really, really very helpful, and it is quite important information which you have shared with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Namaste.